What's up, guys? Sub-Zerk here, back for another VOD review. Today, doing a VOD from wasianiverson because, let me move, you can see the 2.3 average, but look at these scores on his stream recently, and that's enough to be rank 1 NA. He is sitting at 134 LP, rank 1, about 20 LP above rank 2 Jetasaur, and then Tartman is rank 3, and he is about 80 LP above that. He's kind of smurfy, and he's one of only 7 people in the entire server who are masters yet. So yeah, just a beast. Just a beast, as you know, as anybody who watches TFT should know. I think one of the things that Wasian is so good at from just watching some of his stream is identifying the broken line in his spot and playing it and just getting a free win. There are a lot of lines right now, and, you know, the further we've gotten into TFT's history, the more and more it becomes, you know, identify what a really broken line is to play in your spot, and if you can figure that out, then you will do very, very well. So we start off here with a Gnar 2. We have a Guinsoo's Rage Blade as a potential slammable in this spot. Gnar does love a Guinsoo's Rage Blade, so you can be pretty happy about that. You could even take the sword and go Guinsoo's IE. The only problem is there's not really a very good Guinsoo IE comp in the game if you're making Guinsoo's. I mean, it's like TF is the thing, but you have to get to TF. So it's a little sus, but maybe. Aura farming, I do hate this augment, honestly, just because you are playing down an augment until 4-6. The upside is once you get to 4-6, you get an insane, you know, Giga Prismatic augment, but it's yeah, it's quite rough to get there. Pyromaniac, I mean, honestly, if we knew what our Gnar power up was, like if we knew we could get like Golden Edge or something, I would not mind a Pyromaniac and just go Guinsoo plus red buff and just have this Giga Gnar. We don't really have that much frontline for it, is the only downside. But yeah, Supreme Cells. It is actually pretty good in that in the Supreme Cell, you know, when you're playing like a Kali Cassante comp, I'm pretty sure Supreme Cell onto Cassante does very, very well. Doing a scout of the lobby, we see a little bit of a reroll going on, nothing too crazy. And yeah, we are just going to pick up the You Have My Sword here. And we do also have triple... and we are going to grab this onto him. We get, ooh, Hat Trick here is kind of a hilarious one that stacks up these hats on the unit. The only problem is when you lose fights, it unstacks the hats, and we immediately lost a fight here. And we do pick up the 3 Crystal Gambit. Honestly, you could, yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. We lost our first combat. We don't have that much frontline. Honestly, just pivoted into Crystal Gambit. We see there's a Star Guardian player who might play Crystal Gambit as well, which is a little bit sus. There's a Knuckle Dusters player, which is really broken, but they don't have great items for the Vi, so that's a little sus, but we'll see here. Yeah, Morello plus Cloak Vi. Whoa. I mean, items are items, I guess. And Wasian does have to slam the Guinsoo onto the Johnny here just to try to kill units. We are Crystal Gambit at this point, so most important is just prioritizing saving HP here. Crystal Gambit, usually you're playing for an 8-loss streak into some kind of solid comp. I mean, here we could actually just play it into Ashe, which is funny. I don't really like the Ashe comp that much, but with Guinsoo Slam, you're really low on options, I would say. You know, I like Crystal Gambit into Sorks, into like Yumi comp and stuff like that. With Guinsoo's, you kind of have to play for an Ashe later. So we will see what the final board ends up being, because there's so much out there in Wasian. I feel like one of the things he is best at is line selection, which is, I mean, maybe the most important skill in TFT is just figuring out what comp to play. Also note that we're playing Crystal Gambit. We're open here in loss streaking. I think this style of play is so much better on this patch because it does open you up to spat on Carousel, which can just straight up win you the game if you get to a Crystal Gambit spat. Who knows if we're going to talk about that today, but if we were to, it would not be surprising because that is a very good line. There is another player, Crystal Gambit, though right now, so they have a Swain instead of us, which means they actually can't trap in corner, right? They don't have a Cinder here. So yeah, they're unable to trap. Interesting that we are not. I mean, the thing is what they're going to do, because they're unable to trap, is they're going to try to break our trap. If we put 3 units onto the right side there, they're going to just try to keep all their units in the corner. And the way to counteract that, I think, is just, you know, like, yeah, so they want to put their units to the far left as possible so that we can't trap, right? So this is the idea. We're 4-loss there, also 4-loss here. We want to grief each other. If we do the trap thing, the common positioning to make sure you lose this fight is Cinder here, Janna here, Vi trapped right here. They're going to put all their units on the left side, which is going to force Cinder and Janna to walk up, which is going to like release the Janna from walking out. So how do you counteract this? I mean, the best way to counteract this, if you know they're going for this positioning, is just Cinder top left, Janna top left, and then Vi all the way down here. And what's going to happen is they're just going to focus down your units really quickly and kill them. And then by the time Vi gets up, you're going to be dead. So that's the idea, at least. They actually, did they pick up a Syndra? Actually, yeah, they did find a Syndra. And oh, okay, so this also changes things because now we can both trap. We also do have a combat augment. We have this You Have My Sword augment, which is going to mean that we are going to be slightly stronger than them. So now we have the exact same units. We can both trap, but if we both trap, we're going to lose. So if they trap, we need to put our units on the right side here and make them walk up in a similar way. So I think my ideal positioning would probably be like, who's stronger, Syndra? Probably Syndra's stronger than John. I mean, with no power up, John is probably stronger than Syndra. So like Janna up here, and then Syndra here, and then like Vi here, and then let them, if both boards walk up, ideally you just want to have one unit in the front line so they focus down your units. So yeah, you basically want to do exactly this, but just have Syndra as far right. Like you do not want her here, right? Because then both of these guys are gonna anger. You want her like this, one of these two axes on the right too. We put her, where do we put her? We put her here. Okay. Okay, it ends up being, we end up not rotating into them anyway, but this still delays us until stage 3, which is a little bit annoying, just because, you know, there's more time now that we could potentially end up fighting them, which, okay. We do, of course, opt to double down. We have to. We do need to beat Krugs here, so we're going to slam Gwynsu's Rageblade onto Kobuko here, doing a set 13 Kobuko. Wait, what set are we in? Set 14 Kobuko cosplay. There's so many TFT sets out there. It's kind of crazy. Big one other buy and all this stuff, but we can't sadly hold on to it because we need to still full open for this other player. I mean, if you break your loss streak with Crystal Gambit, you are very, very sad. So, yep, just to this exact positioning, just make sure your Syndra is far enough to the right that they are going to get pulled out of there. So I would make sure she's in one of these two hexes. I'm not actually sure if in this hex. I feel like they wouldn't walk up with this hex. He does do it in this hex, and they don't walk up. Oh, no. So, this is exactly what we talked about the entire time. His Syndra was too far to the left, which meant that these guys did actually allow themselves to get blocked in here. So, I mean, I love watching, you know, a really good player like wasianiverson mess up. Not because I'm like, hate watching, but because it just shows this stuff is hard and doing it perfectly is difficult. And this is a very good learning moment this is how you don't break your Crystal Gambit loss streak. You need that Syndra to be further to the right. If someone's going to trap, you need to anti-trap and then let them walk up and aggro onto your Syndra. And then we would have lost the fight. All right, what's our game plan now? I mean, we can still, we're going to insta-cash out here, which is a little bit awkward. We're still, I would think, playing into some kind of weird Ashe-style board. I don't know, tons of stats sounds like okay. Piercing Sight actually sounds pretty good onto like Ashe-style boards. Spirit Link on a lost streak is never bad. So maybe that. Oh, he's going to look at potentially... This is an interesting idea. The Sakali Kasante comp, he has IE already. I don't know who's going to take the Gwynsu if we play this. I mean, this is just a broken line in general. Maybe he was looking at some kind of like Bronze for Life board trying to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, all right, so we got our cash there, right? And what was it? It was like components or something? I didn't actually even see what our cash was there because it looked pretty raw. Like, I didn't even see what we cashed here. So yeah, we win this fight. We... cash at 46 here. We're 66 gold. We pre-leveled to 50. The orb is right here. Oh, it's this tiny little silver orb. It might just be like a little bit of gold. He picks it up here. Oh God, it was like 2 gold. Okay, yeah, that is a little bit rough there, but okay. Well, let's jump forward. We do play a little bit of a board here, but still keep Crystal Gambit in. I mean, to be fair, we can still lose the next 4 and get another Crystal Gambit cash out. It's not going to be great because obviously we don't have that double down value and all that kind of stuff, but is something that, you know, we can live with here. Yeah, honestly, the spot looks pretty bad for Wasian because we've taken this loss for, like, I think on average here, Wasian is going bot 4, like maybe like 7th, maybe worse than this, honestly. He's just going to slam all of these just to try to save some HP here. I don't know, Fairy Tail here. It's kind of weird that Fairy Tail can go on to, I mean, Ezreal's a mixed damage unit. He's AD AP, so he's actually kind of a nice holder for like the TF later, but we cannot really guarantee that we're going to make it to TF. That's what we would hope with Gwynsu IE. That's really good TF items, like BIS TF, because he's also kind of hybrid damage. But yeah, we take the loss here. I'm going to go into the next carousel, hoping to find something good for our spot here, you know, an Ashe or something like that. And there is something very good here. It's spat on carousel. So if you guys haven't played this line before, and we actually see Pan gets taken by the last place player, so that's something as well. But you can see the second we hit this, we're going to team planner in, throw in 6 Crystal Gambit units plus some other kind of +1 units that you can play. So if you guys haven't had the chance of playing Vertical Crystal Gambit yet this patch, I feel bad for you because it's so broken. This is something that can legit just be a free win when you get there. And remember, Wasian Spot is pretty horrible. We're on a loss streak, but with no kind of like compensation for the loss streak. Like we don't have a bunch of gold items, anything to play around here. But we do have one thing that is very strong, which is Crystal Gambit +1. So there's 2 pieces to this. One is 5 Crystal Gambit is quite strong. If you get to 5 and you start getting the stacks on 5 Crystal Gambit, the way it works is it basically creates a counter for you. You can see it said it really quickly there, but every 15 kills, once we hit 15 kills, we are going to get a cash out on Crystal Gambit. These cash outs are insane. I've had, 25 kills, which sure, it's a lot of kills, but that's, 3-4 combats. And if you get those 25 kills, it's cashed me out like an artifact before. I had one that was 20 kills, and when it cashed me out that, I got a full item and a Zyra, which is probably the single best one you can get, because then that guarantees you get to 7 Crystal Gambit, which gives you more loot and a ton of stats onto your entire board. It gives you a bunch of HP and damage amp to all your Crystal Gambit units, both of which are very, very good, obviously. So yeah, I mean, I just think Crystal Gambit +1, the emblem, when played correctly, is a very easy first. Now, the only thing we have to worry a little bit about is, 1, we need to win fights with Crystal Gambit 5 to start actually getting those, things farmed up. And 2, we need to, ideally make it to 7 Crystal Gambit. If you die before 7 Crystal Gambit, then, you can't win the game because you're dead. So that's why is the Udyr in. I like the Udyr and the Cassante as the idea a lot. I wonder if, I think this makes a lot of sense. Just level and roll here and just try to be as strong as possible. You're absolutely 1,000,000,000% rolling it to 0, finding every upgrade that you can, because winning every one of these fights is monumentally important here. We get Unstoppable here. We're looking for all out, and we do actually find all out here, so we can throw Crystal Gambit Emblem onto him, throw the IE over onto him as well. Going to make a Giant Slayer there. We do actually still have a fruit here, but this Cassante is going to do a lot of work. So this is funny. It's kind of combining this, Crystal Gambit comp with this all-out Cassante that we've talked about so much is so broken. We have 6 Crystal Gambit in, by the way. We can get a different unit in here. He had Jarvan in Team Planner is his idea, but yeah. Explosive Growth's an interesting idea. Once again, if you make it to Zyra, you essentially win the game. We are 0 gold here. I'm actually really curious to see the take here, because I would almost be tempted not to take Explosive Growth and just take some kind of solid combat. I mean, Blood Rage is like fine enough, I guess, on Cassante. It's not great on the other ones. Yeah, and he rolls that immediately, and he says, I need strong combat here so that I can make it to Zyra, or you can just natural to Zyra. Well, you guys are going to see the power of 7 Crystal Gambit, which, I mean, look, we had to see it, right? I wasn't going to do a VOD that we didn't make it to 7 Crystal Gambit, but you can see 150% rewards, and those stats, it's 500 HP and 35% damage amp. What? Like, this, not only does it give you more loot, but it gives you the combat strength to guarantee that you make it to the loot. And you're going to start seeing some of the loot fly once we get here. So we are on the way to getting our first 15 kill. Yeah, we're a couple of kills left over. The other nice thing about this is it does immediately reset. So we're at like 13 or 14 kills here. Or actually, no, we just hit 15 and we got Duelist +1. Once again, this is how solid it is. It just, every single one, that's 15 kills, right? Not too hard to get to. And it just cashes out a Duelist +1, which now we can throw into our board. We no longer need to play the Udyr. Sometimes you can get a couple of these and play towards 4 Duelist for free, essentially. Really nice onto Zyra to amp up her attack speed. Probably okay onto Cassante as well, though I don't think he really needs it. And the Crystal Gambit Emblem really good on Cassante as well, just because, I mean, what could Cassante care about? Doing more damage and surviving longer. We get this double dupes one, which I do want to caution you guys, whenever you get this double dupes one, do not, and wow, this is actually hilarious, he opts to not pick up the Zyra off carousel. The last place player is kind of dying. It looks like, because they ended up taking a pan. You need obviously a forger to turn that pan into a spat. So I don't think he actually, I don't think he made it to 7 Crystal, which is really rough for him. But we're going to continue to roll down to try to win every single fight, pick up the Jarvan too, which is huge on this board, and going to make Edge of Night now, and Cassante move the GS down. Really, really nice for Wasian. But when you get these dupes, use them on making Swain 3. I had a Crystal Gambit game where I cashed out 16 dupes across the entire game, and I just kept being like, well, 2 dupes, I don't really care about 2 dupes. I'm just gonna dupe the Swains and sell them for gold. And then I got another 2 dupes, and I was like, I'm just gonna use 2 dupes on Swain and sell them for gold. And I didn't end up hitting Swain through that game. And because all of my cash outs were dupes, I ended up actually going second, which was just hilarious and horrible. But may my loss be an experience for you guys, and Wei Jin being very smart about this. Just hold on to these dupes and use them to make Swain 3. I mean, Swain 3 is going to be a lot of extra frontline for your board, especially if you do end up playing Bastion, which you're almost always going to end up playing, I feel like, because you get access to the Braum, who is just such a good unit to play on your board. So yeah, just don't be a fool like me. Oh, he's got the 25 kill. That one is so big. Maybe I'm crazy. The fact that I cashed out 16 dupes, which means I cashed out the 2 dupe one 8 times, I feel like there might be some kind of bug with 7 Crystal Gambit, because I don't know how I cashed that out so many times in a row. But Wei Jin seems to be acting normal, where he's cashing out like different numbers every time. But it seemed like mine just got stuck on that 2 dupe cash out, which I don't know. If Mort Dog, you're not working on TFT right now, so the set lead, Sloan, if I see in the patch notes, we're gonna make Steadfast Heart here, and then IE for the Ash. Blah. But I mean, it's an item for Ash, I guess. If I see in the patch notes on the next patch that they say fix a bug with Crystal Gambit, where sometimes it would just repeat the same cash out a million times. I mean, to be fair, I guess I would prefer that than it be in the game for the entire game. But I hope you refund me that 20 LP difference between first and second, because honestly, my MMR is good enough. Like the first, okay, you guys don't care. You guys don't care. Fair enough. Got our 25 cash out here. There, you can just see the power of a 25 cash out, by the way. A huge amount of gold and a full item, and honestly, that seems like one of the weaker ones. We also do have the Swain 3 now. Can pick up, do we have heal cut? We don't, right? So we're gonna pick up red buff here, throw that onto Zyra here, just get some heal cut onto our board. Yeah, third Swain item would be nice, but heal cut is great, and we hit Zyra 2, which is obviously not bad at all. And yeah, this guy, so they ended up making Sork +1 because they couldn't really full pivot their board into some kind of 7 Crystal Gambit, which is what you would always like to do when you have a spat or a pan in these type of situations, but they couldn't get to it, and so now they're just a pretty strong Star Guardian board. I'm kind of surprised we're rolling it to 0 every round, but maybe I'm not surprised, honestly, because the only way you lose with 7 Crystal is if you die. With 37 HP here, we just need strength, because every single time you win a fight, you're 30% of the way, 40% of the way to getting another huge cash out, which is a lot of these are like an augment. If you cash out an artifact, you just cashed out a gold augment. If you cash out 2 duplicators, I mean, that's almost, that's basically a silver augment, a little bit better than silver augment, almost a gold augment. A lot of these cash outs are an augment. Ooh, that's another Star Guardian +1 this player is going to get. And Star Guardian, if you have multiple +1s, they do more work, but he's actually not going to pick it up, I think. Is he stuck on level 8, so he can't? I didn't actually see. That's 9 units. It's actually that he didn't take Star Guardian +1 here, and he opted to just take a Death Cap here. That is the other thing. Smart from Wei Jin to just make sure. Oh my god, that's so good. We just cashed out an artifact. I mean, this is literally, a portable forge, slightly worse than portable forge. So a slightly worse gold augment, but it's so good in our spot. I mean, it's just gross here. Rotate into the Knuckle Duster player, who also is, playing around some Crystal Gambit units. Well, just one in the Vi, and probably got some loot from it, but obviously not enough. I mean, this is what happens when you have 7 Crystal Gambit, is you just bowl over the entire lobby with the power level of all of our cash outs at this point. I mean, it's better than a prismatic. It's probably 2 prismatics worth of power that we've cashed out at this point, right? A duelist emblem, 2 duplicators, an artifact, a bunch of gold, a full item. Am I missing anything? I think that's it. I mean, that is a double prismatic. And the other thing is we're 37 HP winning. We are going to continue cashing out almost every single round, right? Every other round, maybe sometimes, depending on how high the number is. I feel like you kind of want a higher number, because when you hit something like 25, those are the game-changing ones. But yeah, you can see just stomping the lobby. The only thing that Wei Jin has to do in a spot like this is just make sure somebody doesn't hit a prismatic trait, somebody doesn't hit a 3-star 4 cost. So we just have to run defense and look at the benches and make sure that that's not something that can happen. But honestly, it's pretty. I did have a game where somebody hit 7 Akalis, and I spent the entire game trying to deny them from the Akali 3, which I managed to do with the help of someone else in my lobby. Actually, someone else in my lobby held the last Akali, and so I held one, they held one, the other person couldn't make it there. But I was that is how you could possibly lose. Though honestly, someone in my Twitch chat said it, and I wonder if it's true. If someone hits a 3-star 4 cost, it wouldn't be that surprising if a 7 Crystal Gambit board beat it, just because of the amount of combat, the amount of stats you get. Remember, it's 7 Crystal Gambit, it's giving you this prismatic loot, and it's also basically a prismatic, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's kind of weird to think about this way, but it is a strong 7 trait. The 7 trait is not only giving you, and the lobby just FFs when there's one person left, because why play it out, man? It's just so broken. But it's also a really strong combat, 500 HP and 35% amp on all your Crystal Gambit units. All right, I've yapped about this enough, but all this to say, if you see a spout on carousel and you can play Crystal Gambit, take it, play Crystal Gambit, take free wins. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch and Metafy. All my links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.